What's up, guys? So if you just watched that last video, I was telling you I was gonna make this video, so here we are. Today I want to talk about our snowplow operation and kind of a little more detail about, you know, how we do things, our equipment, you know, our pricing structure, and kind of mentality on that. So it's freezing cold out right now, and obviously there's no snow, but I don't know, season's still early. All right, well, I'm gonna try to film this as fast as I can because it is freezing out. It's like 15 degrees and the windy, and the wind chill's probably in the single digits, and I am not dressed for this weather. But I just want to kind of go through our operation real quick because I've had a lot of questions about things. So obviously we're a very small operation. We have right now we only have 2 of the trucks set up with plows, but we have these 2 trucks, and then this truck eventually gets a plow. So we have 3 basically plow trucks that we use, you know, out doing this, and we also have the skid steer that usually gets that push box over there. So very small operation. Both our trucks here, and I can get into equipment if you guys want, but we have 2 salt spreaders. We got a Boss 6500 of VBX, and we have a Fisher Polycaster on the dump truck here. Both are 1.5 yard units. Obviously this one's much bigger than that one and they both have their pros and their cons. I'm not going to get that in this video. I actually have made multiple videos on the channel about the 2 and, you know, what I like and what I don't like. But we do have 2 salt spreaders in both these trucks. These are our main trucks, obviously, that we use for snow removal, and then the blue truck here, it's an older truck, that's our backup. So that's kind of why it doesn't have a plow on it right now. But basically, and I'm gonna sit inside the truck for a minute and warm up because I'm freezing. Basically, as you can see, we have straight blade plows on everything. Let me get in here and warm up for a second. And it is cold. It's actually 21 degrees out. But the wind today, the wind is brutal. I'll go back out in a minute. I'm not dressed for the weather. Obviously, I just played hockey this morning. Came by the shop to check on everything, and just been running the trucks to warm them up. But basically, we have a very small operation, and I kind of keep it that way for a reason. I'll be honest, and I'm gonna kind of go into numbers a little more than I normally ever would in any other videos. We have, so for those who new to the channel have no idea, we have 6, I think 6. Pretty sure 6. I don't have the list for it. We have 6 commercial properties. We'll call it 6, and about 20 driveways. I gotta answer an email back today. I have actually a pool customer who's a landscaper that wants to give us another 25 driveways, which I don't think we're gonna do, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. If we do that, that will put us up to 50, but that's probably not gonna happen. I'll get into that in a few minutes. But basically, we keep it small. 6 commercials, about 20 driveways. And the way we do things, all of our commercial properties are within a mile of each other, believe it or not. I know it's hard to believe, but everything is literally within a mile of each other in the same town. All of our driveways are off the same street in the same town. So everything, if you add it all, you know, on a map, everything's probably within, at any given time, you know, within 10 minutes of each other, which is awesome. That's why we like to keep it small. I've been, you know, offered jobs in other areas, different towns, bigger. It's just, I haven't taken them on just because, you know, I don't want to have to drive, especially if it's snowing out. You're in 4-wheel drive, driving slow behind someone who's, you know, in a front-wheel drive, you know, Honda Civic. It's going to take you 45 minutes to an hour just to get to where you got to go to plow it, drive all the way back. Not worth it to me. So we keep it small. Kind of my thought process with this: keep it small. What's the saying? Keep it small, keep it all. I don't know. Basically, we make a lot of money on it. The last storm we had 4. The paper said, the weather works said we had 7 inches. I measured 4. We'll call it a 4-inch storm. You know, we worked about 12, 13 hours, give or take. Kind of did 2 shifts. We did a little bit at night, a little bit in the morning, but 12, 13 hours total. We profited a decent amount of money. I'm not going to tell you exactly what we made, but I'll basically say by the hour, if you break it down, we made about $550 an hour, give or take. That's just rough numbers, you know. I'd say between $500 and $550 an hour. That's, you know, not bad. That's not bad at all, you know. So during the snowstorms, we have obviously me driving a truck, David driving a truck, and I usually have a shoveler or 2. So we have minimal payroll. The plows, all the equipment is paid off. Let me get back out, and I'm a little warmed up, and I'll show you the equipment a little more. All of our equipment's paid off, and that's kind of why we have the equipment we have. A lot of people kind of make comments about the plows. Oh, you're gonna get a V plow, and blah, blah, blah. That's great, but you know what? We don't get a lot of snow around here. All of our plows, all of our spreaders, everything's paid off. So this entire setup right here, truck, spreader, plow, 100% paid off. The only expense here is the insurance, the driver, and the fuel. Other than that, none of this equipment owes me a dime. This spreader is paid off, plow's paid off. I got a little bit left on the truck. This will be paid off probably by the spring. Blue truck is paid off. The plow on it's paid off. So basically everything's paid off, and I do have a little bit of a payment on the skid steer. So we have very, very, very minimal overhead when it comes to snow plowing, and that's the way I want to keep it. Trust me, I would absolutely love to upgrade a lot of this stuff. You know, I'd love a V plow. I would love a better, and I've looked into it, trust me, I've really thought about it. Because we have a cheap little push box for this, you know, skid steer. One, we've only used the skid steer like 5 times in the snow. And 2, I just can't see putting money into it. What I really want to do is I want to put, you know, Snow Wolf or snow tires on it, and I want to get rid of that cheap $1,200 push box and get something like a Snow Wolf or something with retractable wings. But you know what? We don't need it right now. This stuff makes us money. And that's kind of my attitude, you know? Why spend... I've been looking at even used stuff, because I really like the Quattro plows, the Snow Wolves, but a new one's like 10, 11 grand. That's insane. That's a whole snowstorm of just plowing just to pay that plow off. And I know, you know, it's one snowstorm, but when we only get 3 or 4 snowstorms a year, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. So that's kind of why we got what we got. We put the wings on this plow last year. Definitely seemed to work out pretty good. These were a really cheap addition. By no means are they perfect, but they definitely add a little bit extra width on the plows and a little more containment. But at the end of the day with the plows, and I get a lot of hate, almost every video I post, there's always a comment about the plows. If you know what you're doing, you can plow with any type of plow. Straight blade, V-plow, whatever, you can plow with it. So I know you might have to make a couple more passes on it, but you know, it is what it is. So that's kind of why we got the equipment that we got. Everything's just kind of your basics. Everything pretty much is paid off. This dump truck, and next year I can stand here and actually officially say all of our snow equipment, and hopefully including that skid steer, will be 100% paid off. That is my goal before next snow season, is to have an entire 100% paid off snow fleet. I'm getting back in the truck, it's freezing. Paid off snow fleet. We'll get there, I know we will. And that's kind of why I keep it small. The other thing that a lot of people don't realize is, you know, you see a lot of the videos I post, and especially some of these shows, looks like we get a ton of snow. We don't. We get, lately we've gotten nothing. We've gotten horrible winters. So it's tough to, you know, like, we'll use the skid steer for an example. I 100% know the plow we have is a joke. It's kind of embarrassing to me, you know, plowing with it. But you know what? We just don't get this big snowstorms. We had one big snowstorm that we needed that thing, and we had like a freak snowstorm. We got like 30 inches of snow. Other than that, most of our snowstorms are usually under 6 inches of snow, and it's usually heavy, wet slop. The snow around here in this area, and I wish I had like a map to show you. The way the storms come in, they always either start as snow or start as rain, and they always go back and forth. They're never usually a straight snowstorm. It's very, very rare that we have just a straight powdery snow. It's always, you know, a mix. It's always a mess. And it's always not a ton of snow. So, it's, you know, to me, it's like, you know, why bother upgrading a lot of this stuff where what we have works and it's extremely profitable. It's frustrating because we, you know, trust me, like, you know, I have so much in my head, and I watch tons of other snow companies, how they do things, and it's like, you can make this a massive thing, but it's just where we're located in the southeastern part of Massachusetts, it's very tough to get snow where we're located. We're not up, you know, in the North Shore, we're not out west, we're not up in Maine or, you know, in Buffalo where it snows every friggin' day. It's very, very hard to get snow here, so it's very hard to make this, like, you know, my dream was to make this a massive, you know, basically do a full-time pool business in the summer and a full-time, you know, that's all we focus on was snow. But at this point, you know, it's like there is not a lot of snow, you know. So, I mean, I see the guys out there that have, you know, all these brand new loaders, all these brand new skid steers, and it's like, that's great, but it's like, I don't know. I can't fathom, I know you're leasing that stuff, you're not owning it. It's just, I don't know. I think what we got for what we do works great. And especially, like I said, it's extremely profitable. So just kind of want to address a little bit, just a real quick overview of the snow stuff, because at the end of the day, we are extremely profitable, even on the smallest, 2-inch snowstorms. The salt event, very profitable as well. I don't have numbers there, but we can pretty much do, if it's a heavy salt, we usually fill both trucks and just do one load. So we're talking about 3 yards of salt. Most of the time, we don't even use that much. Most of the time, we can honestly use like maybe 1.5 yards to 2 yards on all of our 6 properties. I don't know. It's just everything we try to do is just try to make it extremely profitable. The only other thing we could, there's some upgrades and stuff like that. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but this was kind of more for like the haters and the people who have questions about the snow operation, because it's very small, but it works. And I've had a few comments about like, advice. My advice to you, if you're getting into snow, try to keep, if you keep it small, you can take good care of your customers. And if you take good care of your customers, they'll keep coming back every single year. We've been fortunate. All of our commercial customers are all repeat customers that I've had pretty much since day one. And most of our driveway list, at one point years ago, we did almost 80 driveways. So I think we had 5 commercial places and 80 driveways, which was a lot. We actually had all 3 trucks running at that point. We backed out of the driveway game a little bit, just because it wasn't, obviously not as profitable as commercial. And I can go on another tangent. There's plenty of money to be made in driveway snow plowing if you're charging right. And we've obviously cut back over the years on that, but there's plenty of money to be made in what we do. But if you keep a nice, small, tight route, you keep your driveway route if you're doing driveways, that's how I started. I put a post up on, Facebook on our town group, picked up, about 10 to 15 driveways that first year, all in the same town, kept that route tight and just kept building off of it. Every year added more and more and more, and eventually we're up to about 80 customers, I'm also fortunate that a lot of the people around us don't do driveways anymore, and a lot of people have honestly getting out of snow plowing, so I've been able to pick stuff up. And honestly, at this point, we scaled back. So it's like we've been up and down, up, down, up, down, so, but if you keep a nice tight route, you can be very profitable at this, even if you're doing 20 driveways, one truck, 20 driveways, you're charging, 60, 75 bucks a driveway. I don't know. It depends on the driveway size. It's a decent amount of money, you could do, if you're good at what you do, you have a shoveler, you could do 4 or 5 driveways in an hour if they're really close. We can do our whole driveway route in under 2 hours, 20 driveways in 2 hours. And some of our driveways are massive. The way we charge is a little different. If you want, I can get into that too in this video if you guys want to learn a little more. We kind of treat every driveway like it's commercial. We charge by the inch on the driveways. So that way, you're not getting yelled at if you go when there's a 1/2 inch, or if the times where you get like a 2-foot storm and you go 3 times and you charge them 3 times. We do it this way, so if we do get, a big storm and we go 4 times, we charge them 1 rate. And we basically make it so it's no matter what, it's profitable for us, We start at the, 1 to, I think we were 1 to 3, 3 to 6, we go down the bracket all the way down, and then at a certain point, it's by the inch. Then we have, we basically, I don't have the contracts in front of me, but basically we have plowing, and then if you want shoveling, we have a price for that, and then a total for both. And then we also offer like ice melt and stuff like that. So some of these driveways, honestly, we're making not obviously as much as a commercial place, but we're making, some of our bigger driveways, some shoveling, we're making 200, 300 bucks on the driveway. We have one of our big ones, we make 400 bucks. It's a massive driveway, but there's, it's basically a 1/2 mile driveway with a decent amount of shoveling, but we charge $400, a pass on a small storm. So there's money to be made in driveways, don't get me wrong. Some of them can be a pain, and I'm not going to probably go into that in this video, but if you are pricing out driveways, be very aware of, the layout. Is it something that just goes straight up to a garage and there's nowhere to put the snow and you have to back drag it out? Those you can do, but if there's a foot of snow and you can't back drag that out, it's a pain in the butt, So that's kind of the other thing. The driveways we do now, I call them easier ones, but they're ones where you're not trying to maneuver around or back drag or, going down a hill, stuff like that. So, now obviously we do our commercials pretty much the same way. We charge, kind of on a bracket system. And we're very profitable. Like I said, we made 550 bucks. Let's say 550. I think it was 550 is what I figured out last storm, for about 12, 13 hours worth of work. not too bad at all, you know, in my eyes. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but for my operation, well, we don't have a lot of overhead. You know, we don't all have all these lease payments or rent payments to rent all the machines. We don't have 40, 50 guys, you know, all this stuff to pay for. You know, I don't have new plows or new stuff that I'm trying to pay off. Because honestly, if you buy new stuff every year in this area, you're never making money. I truly don't know. You see all these trucks out there with brand new spreaders or brand new plows, you know, all this fancy stuff, and it's like, how are you making money? There's no way, you know, unless you're like a seasonal contract that has crazy high rates. It's the only way I can see people make a profit in this area with buying new stuff. But I don't know, it's just one of those things. It's a very interesting industry, and I'm not an expert by any means. I'm a pool guy. I've just kind of learned what we do, you know, our system and what works for us, and by no means this advice might not pertain to anybody else. You know, this might not make sense for your business at all. You know, obviously bigger businesses, you want more accounts, you got more machines, you got more guys, you can do things differently, you can buy newer equipment. If you get more snow each year, you know, we used to get a lot of snow. We used to get, you know, 10 storms a year some years. We're lucky to get 2 or 3 at this point. But, you know, if you're getting bigger snowstorms, like if you're up in Maine, you're getting 2 feet at a time, V-plow is definitely a way to go. Don't get me wrong. You know, but for what we're doing for us, everything I have works. For you, it might not. You know, if you're out in Minnesota and you're getting big snowstorms, you might need a V-plow. You know, you might need all this bigger stuff. You know, you might need, you know, snow tires on your skid steers. For us, we get away without it and it works. So, and at the end of the day, snow plowing is not our only income in the winter. You know, we have, you know, we're a pool service company. We just do the snow plowing just to try to pay some bills. You know, it's not our only focus, and it's not like, you know, life or death if we don't make any money at it. You know, we have the trucks that just be sitting here if we didn't do snow, and why not, you know, trying to make a few bucks while the off season's going on. So, but that's just a little overview, kind of our operation. I could go more into detail, and I probably would if it was a lot warmer out, to be honest. But battery's starting to die on this, and it is freezing out today. So, but hopefully I'd answered a couple of you guys' questions that had questions on you know, our operation and our equipment and stuff like that. I am going to make a separate video, and I don't think I'm going to do it today. I said, if you watched our last video, I said I was going to make a couple of videos today. Camera's dying and it's just too cold, but I am going to make a video in general about the entire business, you know, Crowley Pool Service and our operation, because it is freezing out. I know it doesn't do any justice how cold it is, but it is freezing today, so I keep going in and out. I am going to make a video basically detailing our business and how it started, and it might be a long one, but I kind of want to make almost like a documentary or whatever, a biography, whatever you want to call it, just to get a better understanding of what we are, what we do. Because at the end of the day, and I'll go a little bit into it right now real quick before I end the video, this is a very small business. Obviously, I'm the owner. I'm the only one that, you know, invests money into it. Everything's done out of my pocket. I don't have any investors. I don't have any mentors. I don't have any crazy loans, business loans, stuff like that. I've been trying to do this as debt-free as possible, and it's getting harder and harder and harder and almost impossible at this point. But that's a whole nother conversation for another video. But I'm trying to do this, you know, with as minimal expenses as possible, you know, and do it all out of my pocket. And I've succeeded for 9 years now. We had our 9th anniversary as a company 2 days ago. I've been doing pools for 19 years. So this will be a whole nother topic for another video. But that's kind of where all the equipment comes from, is kind of the overview of everything. Is I you know, since I started day one, everything's been done out of my pocket. The first truck was bought out of my pocket, you know, my own money. I paid it off, you know. The second truck, which I'm sitting in, was bought, paid off. You know, the equipment in the back, bought and paid off. I'm working on, and I'm almost there. This truck will be paid off by the spring. The dump truck here, the equipment on it, obviously, like I said, the you know, the spreader and the plow are paid off. And then my goal next year is to have that skid steer as well paid off. We're probably a year out on paying that, and obviously I just pay the payments every month. Obviously things are getting older, you know, like the blue truck's 160,000 miles now. It's gonna need to be upgraded. And we'll start, you know, trucks nowadays are 60, 70, 80 grand. I don't want to know what they are. So obviously you probably have another payment on that. And you're gonna have debt in business. It's inevitable, you know. But I'm just trying to do it smart, where I'm not buying new crap every year. And you don't need the newest stuff to make money. That's the other thing. And if you're new to business, new to snow plowing, just because on the internet everybody's got the nicest plow, the nicest truck, you know, the nicest salt spreader, brand new skid steers every year doesn't mean, you know, you don't need that, you know. You could go buy a beat up F-250 with a beat up plow and still make money with it, you know. And that's kind of the mentality you got to have. You don't need to look the best to make the money. That's the best way to probably put it. And I struggle with that, I'll be honest. You know, it's impossible these days not to. You look at the internet, you see someone who looks like they're doing better than you, they have nicer equipment. But you know what, usually with nice equipment usually comes payments and stuff like that, you know. You don't know the backstory, you know. And trust me, I would love all that stuff too. I would love nice new everything, you know. If I could, I'd put V plows on everything, and nice Fisher V plows. You know, I'd probably have a bigger dump truck, you know. I'd probably have a bigger, you know, probably track machine skid steer with a nice, you know, extendable wing plow, like $20,000 metal plus. It doesn't make sense to me. We don't need it. Everything we have makes money. And that's kind of the moral of this video, is you don't need the fancy stuff to make money. You know, if you have equipment that works, you maintain it well, it will work for you, you know. And you got to be smart about it, you know. Obviously, too, if you're doing this for the first time, you got to build up to it. You can't just take on a ton of stuff and think it's going to work, you know. You got to be smart about it. Make sure you're making money, you know. You might want to charge a little bit less than your competition to get into it, but make sure over time, you know, you're definitely making enough money, you know. So, I don't know. So, if you guys are interested more in these business type videos, let me know. Honestly, just looking for content ideas at this point, because it's just been a very slow winter. It's cold. There's not much going on. But just figured I'd get this video out there, kind of detail a little more in the snow operation and kind of my mentality behind things and how and why we do it, you know. Because unfortunately with YouTube and social media, you get a lot of hate on everything you do. Not all the time, you know. You guys are usually great about comments and stuff like that, but there's always a couple people that just rip you for no matter what you do, you know. And that's great. Usually you're just a keyboard warrior, and most time you don't even plow snow or even own a plow truck, you know. So you're just a keyboard warrior that watches other people's videos. So but I don't know if this hopefully has brought value to anybody, but if you guys got questions or want to see things or whatever, put it in the comments. I try to answer all the comments on all these videos. And you know, like I said, if it wasn't so cold, I'd go into a little more detail on stuff, and I will eventually, you know, if it warms up. It will. It's just freezing today, so. But I'm gonna go before this camera dies. I appreciate everybody watching, and we'll see you in the next video.